find you a bucky?
It's not a bucket. It's a Hilux.
iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiski Times CEO dozere iqala Bafana Bafana litywatyusha nangakumbi ndiyafuna ukuthi isixeko salapha eMzantsi Afrika sazi isixeko. Do you know what is a sixeko?
Aye.
You don't know what is a sixeko? No, I'm about to be disrespectful. You know, as a YouTuber,
Oh, yeah.
Sligo is a city. You know, so I wanted to say that South Africa defeated one of its cities. People from Lesotho are not going to like that. So there you are, Bafana Bafana. It's Lesotho 0, Bafana Bafana 3. It's Lesotho, the home team, but they had to play in South Africa because, of course, there's stringent rules by CAF that dictate who gets to host matches. If you are a country that cannot host matches, you then go to the nearest country. So South Africa has a lot of these stadiums. Even Dobsonville Stadium is deemed to be fit enough to host matches. Well done to Bafana Bafana. They move on then to Nigeria, defeated the team that they're supposed to defeat, but defeated them very well. We liked what we saw. I liked also what I saw with Lesotho from the beginning, the intensity, the anger that they had, because of course there was a lot of talk between these two nations about what must happen to Mukwena, the protest and all of that. And I think that the players carried that. That's why we saw a lot of tackles at the beginning, so a lot of yellow cards at the beginning as well. I liked that actually, because of course, if we play against Lesotho and beat them 9-0, that's pointless. We learn nothing from that. But if they resist, they kind of give us training for the Nigeria game as well. The tackling and all of that. Lindo Pep, we saw the game, enjoyed it. What did you make of it?
Yeah, Mr. Nkyo, before ngibulisa abantu bethu laba Mr. Nkyo Lesotho, because most of our people, the people that support us and the people that watch us are people from petrol. I'm not saying petrol attendants and securities.
Part of our audience, because YouTube will tell us that we have, from the Kingdom of Eswatini, there's a percentage. From Botswana, there's a percentage. From also the Lesotho, there's a percentage.
And I meet them.
We mess around.
For sure.
As YouTubers.
We appreciate them. Anyway, we need to say that we appreciate them. Because when they meet us, Mr. Nkeo, they embrace us. Because I'm not saying most of them have those jobs, but you see a petrol attendant, you see a security guy, you see a person when you get to work again, embrace, hey, Lindo Pep. So these are the guys that support us, that watch us on a weekly basis without a fail, religiously. So I think ngibulisa machita man ngara, ngibulisa technical team, sengibiza nge-technical team. Ngoba isiphethe wonke umuntu, kunama head coach, nama conditioning, technical director, siphethe yonke into, no goalkeeper coach nangu Justa. But Mr. Nkeo, let me give credit to Hugo Broos and his technical team, as well as Lesotho, man. I didn't expect them to have this application. I think there's progress in terms of how they play. Pelati Mr. Nkeo, again, Bazo Lindo says this all the time. It's not about the results, about the performance. Absolutely. And I believe that in terms of performance, I think they were able to find each other. I think they had structure. I think they had emphasis. They were not afraid to go for the game. I think the first 10 minutes of the game, if you check, Mr. Nkeo, they were very physical. They were very hard on the South African players. I think they've tried to fight for the first ball because ground in sometimes it's very important to send a message that we are not here for a pity party. We are not here or send a favor. We are here for a fight. And I believe that in the first 15 minutes of the game, they pick a fight. But I need to give Hugo credit. And one of the credits is he's not just a coach. He's not just a tactician, but he's a father figure in some of the players. And Mr. Nkeo is something that we have to give Hugo Broos credit for, is because most of our young coaches, more especially globally in football, have become more of tacticians than coaches. That's why I hardly ever call them coaches, because their emphasis is more on tactics. I'm a big lover of tactics. I think when I broke out into the football fraternity, I was one that was emphasizing too many tactics, the tactical ability of players. But I think football revolves more. There's more to football than tactics and how you apply yourself as a coach. And I believe that with Hugo Broos, that's why our national team should never ever be coached by Ntwana Ngane. Or maybe let me say a younger guy.
Yeah, I think the example globally is being set now, and it's been set before. Abo Mario Zagallo, a lot of coaches, Carlos Alberto Pereira, it's guys that are in their 60s and 70s. And it's largely because of that. And I think the point that you're trying to drive home is that with younger coaches, they overemphasize. I think even Julian Nagelsmann, who's a national team coach in Germany, I think he lost to Slovakia yesterday. I saw the last 20 minutes. Julian Nagelsmann is a young kid. He's our age, actually. He's in his early 30s. And there is a lack of experience that helps you deal with human management. And I think that maybe what Hugo Broos brings is that ability of human management. And also what's clever about the experience that he has is that he saw which were the best teams in South Africa when he got here. Although he dissed Sundowns at the beginning, that I will not pick Uzwane, whatever, he said those things, I'm not misquoting him. But with his experience and wisdom, he said to himself, I actually don't even need to coach here.
Yeah.
All I need to do is to say 9 of those Sundowns players. And he's now revising that. He's saying, let me take 6 from Sundowns, let me take 3 or 4 from the second best team in the country, Orlando Pirates, and then I can take Lyle Foster. And predominantly, this is a local team, local-based team.
Mr. Nkewu, the best coaches are the ones that coach the human being before the play.
Absolutely.
And for me, one of the reasons why I like, more especially building up to this game, is I like the Rilem Fukeng story, where he said, I couldn't leave him, go Orlando Pirates. I needed to take him. And this is what we need in South African football. We need coaches that are able to bring out the best in our players. One of the reasons why we don't
because
produce...
if he dropped him, actually, it would have meant...
break his confidence.
More mental strain, because he's not even doing well at Pirates currently. He's not his best form from last season. If you drop him at Bafana Bafana, you negatively affect him.
Mr. Nkewu, there's a reason why we don't produce world-class players anymore. I feel that football has revolves, and there's nothing wrong. It's good that the evolution of football and the innovation of football revolves around speed, tactics, positional game, and all of that. But I believe that there's more to the game. And for me, the one thing that you need to learn, and the credit that you have to give Hugo Broos, is the fact that he understood his coaching role, more especially in this country, making sure that younger players are involved in the game, making sure that senior players are involved. But also, if to give him credit here, he's built a bigger pool for players in South Africa. I think that his thinking for picking the squad is that I need 3 left centre backs. He's got Tumbogazi, he's got Kuluman and Damas, he's got the injured boy from Kaizer Chiefs. It's building from the future. I asked questions to say, yes, you're bringing in Umbogazi, you're bringing in new players. Yes, the spine might still look the same. But one of the reasons when I sat down, I was like, he's already guaranteed with his spine and the 15 players that he wants. I think he's just building for the future in South African football. You look at it in midfield as well, our options are now. Even the players that he's left out, you can tell that he's building the future. You check our exit points that we are playing with. It's younger boys who have the drive, who have the vision. And one thing, he's letting them play for free. One of the things that maybe you can give Hugo criticism, because there's always an advantage and a positive, is that when he's playing big matches of consequence, is when sometimes I feel like the change in the approach. And for
maybe
me,
maybe that also speaks to, I will never agree with negative tactics, ever. It doesn't matter what the result is. Even if you win the World Cup, I will never agree with negative tactics, because long term they hit you. But maybe with his experience, because we have to see it from different perspective. With his experience, what he's learned is that, just like Jose Rivera, it's a cost and benefit exercise. What do I gain from being open against Nigeria versus what do I gain from closing against Nigeria? What he gains from closing against Morocco in the quarterfinals or the last 16 of the AFCON, he goes to the quarterfinals. What he gains from closing against, I think, Cape Verde in the quarterfinals is that he goes to the semifinals. What he gains from closing in the semifinals against Nigeria is that he doesn't lose in the game against Nigeria. He takes the game to penalties. So he knows this thing doesn't help you long term, of course, when you play in those tactics. But I also like the fact that we're not stuck today here watching negative tactics because we are superior to Lesotho on the football front. So he allowed those players to play.
And another thing, Mr. Nkewu, I think he quickly understood his qualities as a coach. He knew that he had to play a father figure role. And I would advise bigger coaches like Kevin Hunt to do that, because Kevin Hunt, his career has derailed a little bit, because
it's a slight decline.
It's a slight decline. That's the right word.
Because you win leagues, and then if you don't win the leagues anymore, it means it's declining.
And one of the reasons
he's been a father figure.
He's been a father figure, and one of the reasons, he just needs a tactician, because that's where the game is moving. You cannot lie. But also, we have to encourage, and I like Hugo Broos, and we have to encourage coaches and players. The reason why we don't produce world-class players in this country is we cannot accept that a development coach's success is to win the GDL. Your success as a coach is to develop football players. We cannot say
play in Sweden.
No, because you are developing football players.
Go and play in Belgium and Sweden.
In Sweden, Mr. Nkewu, there's a reason why Abo Prez have developed more players that play overseas compared to us. The thing is, Bali, let me include myself because I am one of them. The biggest thing is, I think that it's not change. I think it's evolution, even in myself as a coach, as an analyst, is to dig deeper into the landscape of South African football. If you understand the South African football in the landscape, is that we come from disadvantaged backgrounds. And for us, football is between life and death. For us, football can never be a fun thing. I think it's a quote from Upil Shenki as well. For us, football is about changing the lives of our families. And you limit him. Already under 15, you limit him in terms of playing in a certain structure. I believe that there's coaches in Brazil that are not known, that they are not even celebrated, that are involved in development football. Nobody knows about them. It's not like they don't care. But your responsibility as a coach is not to win the league. Your responsibility is to develop a Vinicius, a Rodrigo, a Esquivel, a Vretenreg, a Palando winner. And we have...
And you do that from the favelas of Brazil. So you are a nobody.
You're a nobody.
In Brazil, in gangsterism, Brazil. But your hands, they cook someone who becomes a Ballon d'Or winner.
Mr. Nkewu, and this is what Hugo Broos says. Since I've been in South Africa, I've never seen something like this, Gumbogas. And for me, that's
world-class
if this boy doesn't become world-class, I've said it before, if we don't get to relay into a space where he's not world-class, and then we need to question the kind of coaching that we do. Are we a nation, a tanda, tiki-taka, that we want to play football that pleases the eye only? Or are we in a space where we understand that we can get to that phase where we can start speaking tactics, we can start picking position, we can start speaking winning? Because for me, what is more important in the landscape of South African football is ensuring that we get these boys to being world class. And when individual players improve, that improves the team. But just to get game in quick, I know we're out of time. I need to give credit to the two centre backs. Umloy Saneman looks like a Rolls Royce playing next to Umbogazi.
Well, there was a head injury. I'm worried about Nigeria because we lost to Nigo Mobi with a head injury. We lost to Molo Isane as well with the head injury, so we have to make tactical adjustments. And we don't have much experience as well, because I think we do accept that we should win against Lesotho.
Sure.
I think that my worry also as we engage in this, it's always happy, you happy. I'm sure with Junior and Shane in their video, there will be happiness, and with Bobo and Shane, there will be happiness about the result here. I'm also looking ahead that we might change our tune based on how we play against Nigeria, because I'm looking at the centre-back pairing and I'm asking myself, Ukulumane Ndamane is not an international player. He's becoming one. Right? No, Mbogazi is not an international player. He's becoming one. And as we play against Nigeria, we'll be able to deal with that. And if we lose 2-0, do we change our tone now? Because it's one thing beating Lesotho, but it's another to be able to be competitive against Nigeria.
Mr. Nkewu, what I like as well is the confidence that he's giving these young players. It's important for football players to feel the trust from the coach. Mr. Nkewu. But also I have to give credit to Mbogazi Mloisane. I have to also give credit to Ronza. I think it was very influential for the midfield in terms of communication. You have to give Umbata credit. I gave him last week. I think he deserves it because when he gets the criticism, continuing improving forward passes. And I like the fact that the boy listens. And Mr. Nkewu, I always emphasize that iron sharpens iron. I am a better analyst because of the people that I work with. And if Umbata is that kind of a player in terms of where he listens and says, yes, I think I can make him better. He evaluates. I will sit down and I evaluate.
The textbooks, when we do our coaching courses, tell us that, and they're true for the most part. And I think I have Arsene Wenger's book here. And when I was doing my coaching courses as well, the textbooks tell us that if you fail to teach a player trapping by the age of 14, the basics, trapping and passing and moving, he will never learn. Like, if a player missed it by the time he's 14, he will never learn. And what we pick up from those coaching courses, and I think maybe we misinterpret what that means. Maybe that's limited to trapping and passing and moving, but maybe there are exceptions to that rule. Because in those textbooks, I'm telling you now, with the license, there is a chapter that talks about that by the time a player is 14 years old, you will never be able to teach him anything. And I like what I'm seeing with Umbata in that, for the most part, of course, that is proven to be right. With most of the players, by the time they get to PSL, like Apolis has bad habits. This long diagonal doesn't make him a bad player, but he's got a bad habit.
But you know what this teaches us also, Mr. Nkewu? To be patient with younger players. I think it's also a learning curve for us.
That's what I'm getting at in that he's now showing us that, although he's an exception to the rule, because most of the players, the PSL, Ushalulile, for example, he still has the bad first touch. Unfortunately, no matter how many different coaches have coached him, it's proving that textbook right. But also, what is proving the textbook wrong is Umbata, that he is improving. He's over 20, but he's improving.
We always have a football conversation. And we're supposed to be done a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, no, it is a lovely conversation.
But Mr. Nkewu, let's be honest, I need to give Usipombule Tebokhomkwen. I think the midfield in South Africa today was very balanced.
Otherwise, well done.
All right, well done.
We'll see against Nigeria. We want them to win, of course.
For sure.
Against Nigeria. But I know, like, football is a fluctuation of emotions. We are high now, beating a team that we're supposed to beat, and we're supposed to be high, of course.
Performance.
And then, the performance, exactly. Absolutely.
Not the result.
Good point, the performance. And then, because of what will happen against Nigeria, we might have people slating the team and all of that. Remember today, when we talk about Nigeria, especially if they perform well, but maybe not get the result. iDiski Times was suspecting.
Shapunjan Bafuyetui Kamalamu Lindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiskiTV. Tanko.
This is Bongane Benedict Villagazi, they call me so. Niazi Bafuyetui, I'm a coach for life. They are back in winning ways. Please, subscribe to iDiskiTV.